Right. Now then, let us see what we have here. Jersey. Okay. The dispute between France and Jersey. First of all, Jersey is an island that is owned by the Queen. And a place that she made to go away child buggery and child sacrifice upon that island by having closed down the investigation over Hope de la Grange. Remember that? And two officials who got so close that they died. Amazing, isn't it? Amazing. Now this Jersey, the French fishermen are up in arms because since technically leaving the European Union, the French fishermen now have to apply for licences to fish in Jersey waters, and they don't wish to apply for licences. And when forced to do so, they've got up in pig in arms. And of course, trouble. So, cut a long story short, they sent around 70 boats, did the French, to blockade Jersey. And Boris Johnson said, "Oh, tally here, we're going to send a couple of our ships in." So, he sends a couple of his ships. And what do they do? Monitor. Okay.
The feud between the UK and France over fishing rights escalated after French fishermen threatened to blockade Jersey's main port. In response, 2 Royal Navy ships were ordered to waters off the island. On Wednesday night...
These are all stock footages, by the way, for those who don't understand. This is stock footage, footage from previous times. Okay, this is illustrating what we have. A joke, isn't it? Eh? They're going to monitor it. Eh? No gunboats, because that would be hostility, you see. Oh, yeah, show of hostility. Oh, we're going to monitor it. No sooner had they got into pigging Jersey than they turned pigging back. Because the government made a gesture. Hey, Doris, you've made a gesture. And a cowardly government had the 2 bits of tin return. Return to Great Britain in the face of the enemy.
The PM spoke to Jersey's Chief Minister and the Minister for External Relations, and in a statement Downing Street said, the Prime Minister underlined his unwavering support for Jersey. He said that any blockade would be completely unjustified. As a precautionary measure, the UK will be sending 2 offshore patrol vessels to monitor the situation. France accuses Jersey of imposing extra conditions on fishing licences, which it claims is in breach of the Brexit agreement. But Jersey authorities say that some French vessels simply didn't have the correct documents to get their permits.
We believe that the licences we've issued are respectful of the Brexit agreement. The question is whether those French vessels have provided the full amount of evidence that they need to respect their historic rights. In some of those boats, it's now become apparent that they've not provided all of that evidence, and we are absolutely prepared to give those vessels extra time to provide that evidence.
By the way, when he says historic rights, he's not talking about years in the past, as it were. What he's talking about is that when we joined the EEC, which was in reality 1971, by the way, not 73, the French were given the right to fish in the waters of Jersey and elsewhere in the United Kingdom waters. That's what he's referring to as historic rights. Okay.
On Tuesday, the French Maritime Minister threatened to cut electricity supply to Jersey, which gets nearly all its power from France. But island authorities say that's likely an empty threat, because they have a commercial contract with an energy company and could fire up the island's own power station. But this row continues to brew, and it seems that neither side is willing to back down yet.
Right, what else you got here, young Bob?
The fishing here was managed through an agreement that we'd signed about 20 years ago, which allowed both French and Jersey boats to share the same waters. And of course, with the UK leaving Europe, those waters had to be split, and then licenses issued to the boats of each country.
Exactly.
In the other country. We've started the process, and of course there are some growing pains.
They got some growing pains. Play it down. Go on, play it down. Muppet. Whoever you are. Britain used to own France at one time. So we lost it. Like we lost America. And all through the British government. The antics of the British government. There's no growing pains. It's the fact that the French fishermen demand, after 20 years of being signed up with the EEC, they never signed up to the EU, but the EEC, okay, demand that they continue to rob the fish, because that's what they're doing, without a licence, rob the fish from these waters. What the hell is going on? That a country like the United Kingdom has a government that signs over the right for other countries to come and fish in our waters. And it is our waters, not the government's waters, it's our waters, the citizens' waters. What has the government done? Coward. That's what they are, cowardly. Pacify the French. Oh, Mr. Frenchy. Oh, you can come and certainly fish in our waters. And what we will do, we'll cut our fishing industry down. We'll attack our people for the preference of your people. That's what the cowardly, mealy-mouthed British government stands for across the world. And people at election time vote this in. And then complain. Complain before they vote him in. And complain after they vote him in. Well, if you want poison, you take poison. Then you complain that you're poisoned. That's up to you. Whoever votes our government into a seat of power. The froggies are upset because they cannot now rob and thieve as they used to. But they still will. You see, when they put the pigging licences in, and the licences are not filled out right, do you think the French fishermen are going to go pigging home? Oh, the heck is like. They put them in, and they go fishing. Sod the licences.
Which means that fishermen on both sides had perfectly legitimate grievances that we have been trying to sort out. The French demonstrated that this was a very serious problem for them, and we agree. They brought 75 boats to our harbour, and I have no problem. This is a very serious problem. We are trying very hard to solve it. I hope that France will try to help very much, because a lot of the issues are on their side. But we are going forward. For the locals, I don't think there is much of a problem. We've been living near France forever. They are our neighbours. We actually hope to develop our relationship with France.
Really? Well, that's just actually giving a misconception, isn't it? They live with Saint Malo. That's France. That's part of France. It's an island. In order to go to Saint Malo, okay, one generally has to go on a Condor ferry, okay, and dock in Jersey, let passengers off and put passengers on, and then go from Jersey to Saint Malo. It's not exactly France per se. It's an island owned by France, Saint Malo. Only a small island. Now, to conclude, we ask one question. Maybe they have the footage elsewhere. We haven't come across it as yet. Now, if you're going to tell a story, you're not going to stay with stock footage, which this is. This fella here, okay, come on, dear boy.
Because a lot of the issues are on their side. Yeah. But we are going forward. For the locals, I don't think there is much of a problem. We've been living near France forever. They are our neighbours. We actually hope to develop our relationship with France.
Right, it's not there.
It's a very serious problem for them, and we agree. They brought 75 boats to our harbour.
Right, 75 boats to our harbour. Well, everybody's got a mobile phone. Where's the press? Where's the footage? Sorry, without evidence, I don't believe you. We've had so much lies and deception from the British government, from the press, the media, and the radio. We don't believe anything unless it's now proven. Words are not good enough. 75? Where is it? Oh, you say, well, it's on the Sun. It's a newspaper. See, it's on the Sun. Yeah.